Stop chasing happiness and try this instead. We've all been there, constantly chasing after the next big thing, whether it's a promotion, the perfect relationship, or even just the idea of happiness that we think will finally make us feel fulfilled. But what if I told you that this never-ending pursuit might be the very thing holding you back from truly enjoying life? Here's the truth: happiness isn't something you can chase. It's not an end goal or a destination that you reach once you've achieved X, Y, or Z. So why do we continue to run after it like it's some kind of elusive prize? Well, it's because we've been conditioned to think that happiness is a reward we earn, but it's not. It's a state of mind, an experience that comes when we shift our focus to something deeper. Instead of chasing happiness, what if you focused on building a life that feels meaningful, fulfilling, and present? What if you stopped putting all your energy into chasing after an idealized future and started creating a life that you truly enjoy right now? Sounds radical, right? In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can stop running after happiness and start embracing a new approach that brings real joy and fulfillment into your life. Whether it's through gratitude, purpose, or shifting your mindset, this approach will help you find peace in the journey, rather than obsessing over some far-off destination. So, if you're ready to stop the chase and start truly living, hit that like button and keep watching, because what I'm about to share might just change everything. Why chasing happiness is a misleading goal. The illusion of permanent happiness. The hedonic treadmill. Imagine getting a promotion at work, buying your dream car, or finally getting the latest tech gadget. In the beginning, these things might bring you a burst of joy and excitement. But over time, that initial thrill fades, and you're left looking for the next source of happiness. This phenomenon is known as the hedonic treadmill, and it's one of the biggest reasons chasing happiness is ultimately futile. The concept, backed by decades of psychological research, suggests that humans have an inherent ability to return to a baseline level of happiness no matter what happens in their lives. So, while a new achievement or possession might elevate your mood temporarily, it doesn't provide long-lasting fulfillment. What happens next is that people start seeking out new things: another promotion, a bigger house, a flashier car, or the latest trendy experience. But the happiness from these wins wears off just as quickly as the first. The cycle continues endlessly, creating a sense of dissatisfaction despite constant acquisition or achievement. This chase, rather than leading to sustained happiness, only fosters the desire for more, and often, more becomes the enemy of contentment. Happiness is fleeting. At its core, happiness is a fleeting emotional experience. Like any emotion, it comes and goes depending on a variety of factors: your environment, mindset, and even your biological state. The problem with chasing happiness is that it assumes happiness is something permanent or fixed. But, when you try to hold on to happiness or make it a permanent goal, you create tension within yourself. This attachment to an idealized version of perpetual joy only leads to frustration, disappointment, and the illusion that something is wrong when happiness doesn't stay for the long haul. Trying to make happiness a fixed destination ultimately backfires, because life's inherent unpredictability and impermanence are always at play. No matter how hard you try to capture it, you'll find that it's never quite as fulfilling as you expected. External validation and social comparison. The social media trap. We live in an era dominated by social media, where everyone's life is on public display. Influencers, friends, and even family members often post highlights of their best moments, vacations, celebrations, and major life milestones, creating an image of constant success, happiness, and fulfillment. But these moments are often curated and edited, presenting a highly polished, idealized version of life. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your behind-the-scenes to someone else's highlight reel. This comparison can lead to feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, and anxiety. In fact, studies show that people who spend more time on social media tend to feel less satisfied with their own lives. When we base our happiness on what others have or what they appear to be experiencing, we inadvertently anchor our own sense of worth to things that are superficial or out of our control. This constant comparison fosters a sense of not enough, and it can feel as though everyone else is living a life of happiness that you're failing to achieve. External versus internal motivation. When you chase happiness based on external validation, be it status, appearance, wealth, or public recognition, your emotional well-being is tied to factors that are inherently unstable. These external factors can be fleeting or illusory, and depending on how much you rely on them, your happiness becomes fragile. A change in circumstances or a moment of failure can send your mood spiraling. However, when you focus on internal sources of motivation and fulfillment, such as aligning with your core values, personal growth, or the development of meaningful relationships, you tap into a much more stable and long-lasting form of contentment. Internal sources of happiness are within your control and aren't reliant on the ever-changing external world. You can take pride in your efforts, progress, and self-awareness, regardless of external circumstances. This shift from external to internal motivation fosters a more resilient and enduring sense of well-being. A better approach. Focusing on meaning and fulfillment. Rather than continually chasing after happiness, a goal that is often elusive and temporary, a more sustainable approach lies in cultivating meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. These elements offer a deeper, more lasting sense of well-being. Instead of trying to capture happiness, we can focus on enriching our lives in ways that align with our values and bring us genuine satisfaction. Here are some paths to explore. 1. Embrace mindfulness and present moment awareness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the current moment without judgment. Instead of letting our minds wander to past mistakes or anxieties about the future, mindfulness invites us to engage deeply with the present, regardless of how messy or imperfect it might feel. It's an antidote to the perpetual chase for happiness because it encourages us to experience life as it is, not as we wish it to be. By developing a mindful approach to life, you can begin to experience each moment with more clarity, and in doing so, you discover a deeper sense of fulfillment. You start to appreciate life's simple joys, the warmth of the sun, a good conversation, or a quiet moment of reflection, without needing them to be perfect. This practice also helps us cultivate resilience, as we're not constantly striving for an idealized version of happiness, but rather learning to accept and appreciate life as it unfolds, in all its imperfections and complexities. Practice gratitude. One of the most powerful tools in mindfulness is gratitude. By intentionally focusing on what you're thankful for each day, you shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude helps counteract the constant desire for more by encouraging us to reflect on the wealth of experiences, relationships, and opportunities we already have in our lives. This simple practice can be transformative. Research shows that regularly practicing gratitude can lead to improved mental health, better sleep, and a deeper sense of well-being. When you take time to acknowledge what's good and meaningful in your life, from the big moments to the small, everyday blessings, you invite more satisfaction into your world. It also encourages contentment, helping you find joy not in future acquisitions or achievements, but in what you already possess. Observe without judgment. Mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts and emotions without attaching labels like good or bad. Often, we become trapped in a cycle of judgment, labeling our feelings as either positive or negative, and in doing so, we create tension around those emotions. In contrast, when we learn to observe our inner experiences without judgment, we allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling without getting caught up in a story or narrative about whether it's right or wrong. This non-judgmental stance is crucial for breaking free from the constant approval-seeking behavior that often accompanies the pursuit of happiness. Instead of looking for external validation or trying to achieve some idealized emotional state, we begin to experience life's natural flow without resistance. We realize that emotions are transient and don't define us. This leads to greater emotional stability and less frustration in our quest for lasting fulfillment. Cultivate meaning and purpose. Another powerful alternative to the pursuit of happiness is the cultivation of meaning and purpose. When you focus on living a life aligned with your values and contributing to something bigger than yourself, you tap into a deeper source of fulfillment. Happiness can be fleeting, but living a life with purpose provides a sense of direction and intrinsic satisfaction. Purpose gives you a reason to get out of bed in the morning, even when things are tough. It's not about seeking approval or validation from others, but about creating a life that feels meaningful to you. Whether that means dedicating yourself to a career that you're passionate about, building deep relationships with loved ones, or contributing to your community, living with purpose gives you a sense of stability and satisfaction that is far more enduring than the pursuit of transient happiness. In addition, research shows that having a sense of purpose can improve physical health, boost resilience, and contribute to overall well-being. People with a clear sense of purpose tend to live longer, have stronger mental health, and experience fewer negative emotions. The act of contributing to the greater good, whether through work, relationships, or acts of kindness, creates a powerful sense of satisfaction that far outlasts momentary pleasures. Nurture connection and relationships. Human beings are social creatures, and one of the most reliable paths to fulfillment is through the cultivation of meaningful relationships. Research consistently shows that the quality of our relationships has a profound impact on our happiness and overall well-being. Rather than seeking happiness through material possessions or fleeting experiences, investing time and energy into deepening relationships with family, friends, and colleagues creates lasting joy. Meaningful connections provide emotional support, shared experiences, and a sense of belonging. These relationships, rooted in love, trust, and understanding, act as a foundation for resilience during life's challenges. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, being present for a friend in need, or contributing to a community that shares your values, strong relationships enrich your life in ways that superficial pursuits of happiness simply cannot. Pursue personal growth and development. A key element of fulfillment is personal growth, the ongoing process of learning, evolving, and striving to become the best version of yourself. Personal growth goes beyond chasing external markers of success and focuses on deepening your self-awareness, developing new skills, and overcoming challenges that contribute to your long-term well-being. This might involve pursuing a new hobby, learning a new language, or setting goals that help you grow intellectually, emotionally, or spiritually. When you focus on progress rather than perfection, you experience fulfillment in the process of becoming. This can bring a lasting sense of satisfaction because the journey itself, not just the destination, becomes meaningful. 2. Cultivate resilience through acceptance. Rather than expecting a life free from pain, hardship, or adversity, a more realistic and empowering approach is to focus on building resilience. Life is inherently filled with challenges and setbacks, and the sooner we accept this truth, the more effectively we can navigate these difficulties. Resilience is not just about enduring tough times, it's about adapting to adversity, learning from it, and emerging stronger. Through resilience, we can face life's inevitable hardships with grace and a sense of purpose. Acceptance of imperfection. The pursuit of perfection is often one of the biggest barriers to happiness. We tend to set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, believing that happiness or fulfillment is only possible if we get everything right. However, this perfectionist mindset creates frustration, self-criticism, and burnout. Accepting that imperfection is a natural and inevitable part of life can be incredibly liberating. By embracing our flaws, mistakes, and vulnerabilities, we develop a healthier, more compassionate relationship with ourselves. We recognize that being human means experiencing both strengths and weaknesses, successes and failures. This acceptance fosters a greater sense of peace, as we stop striving for unattainable ideals and begin to appreciate our efforts, growth, and resilience. Life is messy, and that's okay. In fact, it's in the imperfections that we often find the most profound lessons and growth. Build emotional flexibility. Resilience is not just about bouncing back from adversity, it's about developing emotional flexibility. Life's challenges will inevitably trigger strong emotions like sadness, anger, fear, or frustration. The key to resilience is not avoiding these emotions but learning to feel and process them without becoming overwhelmed or paralyzed by them. Emotional flexibility is the ability to experience your feelings fully but not let them control your actions. It's about understanding that emotions are temporary, and while they may feel intense in the moment, they don't define your reality. By developing this skill, you can face the ups and downs of life with greater ease. When challenges arise, instead of reacting impulsively or shutting down, emotional flexibility allows you to respond thoughtfully and with compassion, both for yourself and others. 3. Pursue meaning, not happiness. In his book Man's Search for Meaning, psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl argues that the pursuit of meaning is a far more powerful and sustainable driver of fulfillment than the quest for happiness. Happiness, by its nature, is fleeting and subjective, often dependent on external circumstances. Meaning, on the other hand, can be cultivated regardless of what's happening around us, and it offers a deeper sense of purpose that transcends momentary emotions. Meaning can arise from many aspects of life, whether it's from relationships, work, creativity, or contributing to something greater than oneself. While happiness might come and go, meaning can provide a stable foundation that helps us face life's trials with a sense of purpose and dignity. Create a personal mission. A personal mission is the compass that guides you through life's complexities. It's about aligning your actions with your core values, passions, and strengths. When you live in alignment with your personal mission, your life becomes a journey of growth, contribution, and discovery. This gives you a profound sense of fulfillment, even during challenging times. Your personal mission can be anything from raising a family with love and care to pursuing a career that fuels your passion, or even contributing to a cause that aligns with your values. Having a clear sense of direction and purpose enables you to endure setbacks and challenges with greater resilience. Instead of chasing fleeting moments of happiness, you can focus on your mission, knowing that each step brings you closer to a life well lived. Self-transcendence. Frankl also speaks to the power of self-transcendence, which involves moving beyond our own immediate needs, desires, and concerns. This involves finding fulfillment in something larger than ourselves, whether through helping others, fostering community, or contributing to causes that resonate deeply with you. Self-transcendence can be found in small acts of kindness, volunteering, or even dedicating time and energy to personal. When you focus on transcending your own ego and desires, you tap into a deep well of fulfillment. The joy that comes from helping others or participating in a cause that aligns with your values is far more enduring than any temporary satisfaction that comes from material pursuits. This sense of connection and contribution brings meaning into our lives, and it has the power to ground us when external circumstances are unpredictable or challenging. Self-transcendence fosters a profound sense of connection, not just to others, but also to the larger forces and narratives that shape the world. It encourages you to shift your focus from individual gratification to collective well-being, and in doing so, you find a deeper sense of peace and satisfaction. 4. Practice self-compassion over self-criticism. When we chase happiness, we often do so with a relentless inner critic who demands more, better, and faster. This critical voice pushes us to achieve more, often at the expense of our mental and emotional well-being. Instead of constantly striving for perfection or berating ourselves for not being happy all the time, self-compassion offers a healing counterbalance. By treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, we create emotional space for growth, healing, and resilience. Treat yourself like a friend. Imagine a friend came to you, feeling down or upset after making a mistake. What would you say to them? You'd likely offer support, comfort, and understanding, acknowledging their feelings without judgment. Now, consider how you treat yourself in similar situations. Often, the inner critic becomes harsh, demanding perfection and berating any missteps. Self-compassion is about shifting that dialogue. Instead of criticizing yourself, ask, what would I say to a friend in this situation? The answer is likely more nurturing and supportive than the harsh self-judgment that often creeps in. By offering yourself the same kindness you would a loved one, you foster a sense of emotional nourishment and acceptance. This creates a healthier relationship with yourself, making it easier to handle life's challenges with grace and understanding. Understand your humanity. To practice self-compassion, it's essential to recognize and accept your humanity. This means acknowledging that you will not always succeed, that you will make mistakes, and that you are imperfect by nature. Rather than striving for a flawless, happiness-filled existence, self-compassion allows you to embrace the full spectrum of human experience, the ups and downs, the triumphs and failures. By understanding and accepting your limitations, you free yourself from the pressure of trying to attain an unattainable ideal. You no longer have to chase constant happiness, because you realize that your worth isn't tied to perfection. Instead, it's rooted in your ability to learn, grow, and extend kindness to yourself, even when things don't go as planned. 5. Focus on relationships and connection. Research has shown that close, meaningful relationships are one of the most reliable predictors of long-term well-being and happiness. Rather than focusing solely on personal happiness or individual success, investing in your connections with others can offer deeper and more enduring fulfillment. The quality of your relationships often matters far more than how many relationships you have. Quality over quantity. In today's world of social media and endless networking opportunities, it's easy to believe that the more friends or connections we have, the happier we will be. However, research consistently shows that the quality of our relationships far outweighs the quantity. Having a few deeply meaningful and supportive relationships provides a stronger sense of belonging and security than having a large network of superficial acquaintances. Nurturing these deeper connections requires time, effort, and emotional investment. Whether it's your family, close friends, or a romantic partner, cultivating these bonds creates a foundation of trust, support, and love. These relationships act as a buffer against life's challenges, offering comfort, encouragement, and understanding. When life gets tough, the people who truly know and care about you will be there, providing a sense of connection and stability that is far more fulfilling than the pursuit of individual happiness. Acts of kindness. Engaging in acts of kindness can have a profound impact on both others and yourself. Helping others, whether it's through volunteering, offering support to a friend, or simply performing small acts of generosity, creates a sense of purpose and connection. These actions not only improve the well-being of those around you, but they also boost your own emotional health. Studies have shown that performing acts of kindness can lead to increased levels of happiness, a greater sense of fulfillment, and lower levels of stress. When you focus on making a positive impact in someone else's life, it shifts your attention away from the self-focused pursuit of happiness and creates a sense of shared connection. This shift can help you find meaning and satisfaction that chasing happiness alone cannot provide. Acts of kindness also foster a sense of community and belonging, reinforcing the importance of relational connections. When you give of yourself, whether through time, energy, or resources, you enrich not only the lives of others but also your own. This exchange of kindness and care leads to a deeper sense of well-being, reminding us that true happiness often stems from our relationships with others, rather than from individual pursuits. 6. Develop a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. In contrast, a fixed mindset assumes that traits like intelligence or talent are static and unchangeable. Adopting a growth mindset encourages you to view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. Instead of seeing failures as definitive judgments of your abilities, you learn to embrace them as part of the process of becoming better and stronger. This mindset transforms setbacks into valuable learning experiences rather than signs of inadequacy. Learn from setbacks. Rather than chasing happiness through a constant stream of successes, learn to appreciate the value in setbacks. Every challenge or failure contains valuable lessons that can deepen your understanding, improve your skills, and build your resilience. When you encounter obstacles, instead of feeling defeated, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This mindset shift allows you to view difficulties as a natural and essential part of growth, not as something to avoid or fear. For example, if a project doesn't turn out as expected or a goal seems out of reach, reflect on what went wrong. What can be adjusted next time? How can you use this experience to grow? By seeing these moments as opportunities for personal development, you shift your focus from chasing happiness through success to embracing growth through learning. This creates a healthier and more sustainable path toward fulfillment, as you're no longer attached to the idea that success equals happiness, but that growth itself is deeply rewarding. Embrace curiosity. A growth mindset also thrives on curiosity. Rather than focusing on rigid expectations or outcomes, cultivate a sense of wonder about yourself, others, and the world around you. Ask questions, explore new perspectives, and remain open to discovering new ideas. Curiosity brings fresh energy and creativity into your life, allowing you to approach challenges with enthusiasm rather than dread. This mindset encourages you to be constantly engaged with the world in an authentic way. It fosters resilience, because when you're curious, failure becomes a stepping stone rather than a barrier. With curiosity, you not only enjoy the journey of learning, but also feel more engaged in life, making the process itself more fulfilling than the pursuit of happiness through external achievements. 7. Find joy in the process, not the outcome. The relentless focus on end goals, whether it's achieving a career milestone, reaching financial success, or acquiring material goods, often distracts us from enjoying the present moment. While goals are important, finding satisfaction in the process itself can bring a deeper, more lasting sense of fulfillment than focusing solely on the outcome. Engaging with life in the here and now, enjoying each step along the way, can lead to a more meaningful and contented life. Engage in flow activities. Flow is a state of deep immersion and concentration in an activity where time seems to fade away, and you are fully absorbed in the task at hand. Whether it's a hobby, creative pursuit, or even work, activities that bring you into flow can offer a sense of satisfaction that transcends temporary happiness. In this state, you're not focused on the end result, but fully engaged in the process, enjoying the activity for its own sake. Finding activities that induce flow is key to cultivating a sense of joy in the present moment. This could be anything from painting, writing, playing an instrument, gardening, or even engaging in a challenging workout. When you're in a state of flow, you're not focused on the future, the next big thing, or how it all ties together. You're simply immersed in the experience, and this often leads to lasting contentment that isn't dependent on a specific outcome or goal. Practice patience. Fulfillment is often found not in the destination, but in the journey. Cultivating patience is key to shifting your focus from a future outcome to the present moment. Instead of rushing toward the next milestone, learn to appreciate the small steps along the way. Celebrate the progress you make, no matter how incremental, and acknowledge the lessons learned in the process. When you focus on the journey, you begin to find meaning and satisfaction in the day-to-day actions, which helps you let go of the constant pressure to achieve a specific outcome in order to feel happy. Patience fosters a deeper appreciation for life's rhythms, allowing you to savor the experiences you encounter rather than obsessing over what's next. By practicing patience, you embrace the unfolding of life in a more natural, organic way, which in turn creates a more peaceful and grounded sense of fulfillment. Conclusion: the end of the happiness chase. The idea that we must chase happiness is a myth that has led many people to feel incomplete or perpetually unsatisfied. The belief that happiness is something to be acquired or attained can create a never-ending cycle of striving and disappointment. In reality, true well-being comes not from relentlessly pursuing joy, but from embracing the complexities of human existence and building a life that is rich in meaning, connection, and growth. Rather than chasing after an illusory and fleeting state of happiness, focus on creating a life that is rooted in purpose, growth, and resilience. Invest in your relationships, cultivate a mindset that welcomes learning and personal development, and embrace the present moment without being fixated on external outcomes. Happiness, in this context, becomes a natural byproduct of living authentically and meaningfully. Ultimately, happiness is not the goal, it's the gift that arises when you stop chasing it and start living with intention, connection, and curiosity. This idea is a profound one, challenging the way we traditionally think about happiness and fulfillment. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with messages about the pursuit of happiness, it can be easy to believe that happiness is something we must strive for relentlessly. It's portrayed as a destination, an end goal that, once achieved, will resolve all our problems and deliver lasting contentment. Yet, in reality, the pursuit of happiness can often feel elusive, fleeting, and unsatisfying. True happiness, it turns out, may not be something we can chase at all. It's something that emerges naturally when we live with purpose and embrace life's inherent complexity. The shift from chasing happiness to living a life of intention, connection, and curiosity requires a rethinking of how we approach life. Instead of viewing happiness as a goal to be achieved, we can start to understand it as a byproduct of living a meaningful and fulfilling life. This change in perspective can lead us to a deeper sense of contentment that goes beyond transient emotional states. It is a fulfillment that is grounded not in the fleeting moments of pleasure or satisfaction, but in a life well lived, a life rich with experiences, relationships, and growth. The myth of the happiness pursuit. Our culture places a tremendous emphasis on the pursuit of happiness. From self-help books to advertisements, we are constantly told that happiness is the ultimate goal of life. We are encouraged to seek out the latest trends, gadgets, or experiences that promise to make us happy, often overlooking the fact that these things may only provide temporary relief or satisfaction. For example, purchasing a new car, going on a vacation, or achieving a career milestone may bring happiness in the moment, but it is rarely long-lasting. Once the novelty fades, the happiness tends to dissipate, and we find ourselves searching for the next thing that promises to bring us joy. This cycle of constant seeking can leave us feeling frustrated and unfulfilled, as we realize that the happiness we thought we were working toward continues to elude us. It can also lead to a sense of emptiness, as we begin to question whether the pursuit itself is worthwhile. The problem is not that happiness is unimportant, it's that we've been conditioned to view it as something external, something that can be obtained through material possessions, achievements, or status. We have been taught to believe that once we reach certain milestones or acquire certain things, we will be happy. But this is a flawed understanding of happiness. True happiness, it seems, is not something that can be chased or obtained through external means. Instead, it is something that emerges from within, as a natural result of how we approach our lives. Ultimately, happiness is not the goal, it's the gift that arises when you stop chasing it and start living with intention, connection, and curiosity. This idea is a profound one, challenging the way we traditionally think about happiness and fulfillment. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with messages about the pursuit of happiness, it can be easy to believe that happiness is something we must strive for relentlessly. It's portrayed as a destination, an end goal that, once achieved, will resolve all our problems and deliver lasting contentment. Yet, in reality, the pursuit of happiness can often feel elusive, fleeting, and unsatisfying. True happiness, it turns out, may not be something we can chase at all, it's something that emerges naturally when we live with purpose and embrace life's inherent complexity. The shift from chasing happiness to living a life of intention, connection, and curiosity requires a rethinking of how we approach life. Instead of viewing happiness as a goal to be achieved, we can start to understand it as a byproduct of living a meaningful and fulfilling life. This change in perspective can lead us to a deeper sense of contentment that goes beyond transient emotional states. It is a fulfillment that is grounded not in the fleeting moments of pleasure or satisfaction, but in a life well lived, a life rich with experiences, relationships, and growth. The myth of the happiness pursuit. Our culture places a tremendous emphasis on the pursuit of happiness. From self-help books to advertisements, we are constantly told that happiness is the ultimate goal of life. We are encouraged to seek out the latest trends, gadgets, or experiences that promise to make us happy, often overlooking the fact that these things may only provide temporary relief or satisfaction. For example, purchasing a new car, going on a vacation, or achieving a career milestone may bring happiness in the moment, but it is rarely long-lasting. Once the novelty fades, the happiness tends to dissipate, and we find ourselves searching for the next thing that promises to bring us joy. This cycle of constant seeking can leave us feeling frustrated and unfulfilled, as we realize that the happiness we thought we were working toward continues to elude us. It can also lead to a sense of emptiness, as we begin to question whether the pursuit itself is worthwhile. The problem is not that happiness is unimportant, it's that we've been conditioned to view it as something external, something that can be obtained through material possessions, achievements, or status. We have been taught to believe that once we reach certain milestones or acquire certain things, we will be happy. But this is a flawed understanding of happiness. True happiness, it seems, is not something that can be chased or obtained through external means. Instead, it is something that emerges from within, as a natural result of how we approach our lives. It is the gift that arises when we stop focusing on what we think we should be doing to achieve happiness and begin living with a sense of purpose, connection, and curiosity. When we stop chasing happiness, we make space for it to appear organically, as a natural consequence of how we live each day. Living with intention. One of the key elements of a life well lived is living with intention. When we live intentionally, we make conscious decisions about how we want to spend our time, energy, and resources. We don't simply react to circumstances as they arise, but instead, we actively choose how to engage with the world around us. This can mean setting clear goals, pursuing activities that align with our values, and creating routines that support our well-being. It also means being mindful of where we direct our attention, as our mental and emotional energy can greatly influence our experiences and our overall sense of fulfillment. Living with intention is not about perfection or constantly striving for some idealized version of life. It's about showing up fully and authentically in each moment, aware of the choices we are making and their impact on our lives. When we live with intention, we cultivate a sense of agency and control over our lives, which can bring a deep sense of fulfillment. The act of choosing how we respond to life's challenges and opportunities allows us to feel more connected to ourselves and to the world around us. For example, someone who decides to prioritize their health by regularly exercising and eating nourishing foods is living intentionally. This person is not seeking happiness in the form of a specific outcome, but rather they are engaging in actions that contribute to their overall well-being. The happiness that emerges from such intentional living is not based on any specific result, but on the knowledge that one is taking care of themselves and making choices that align with their values. Living with intention also involves being present in the moment, rather than constantly looking ahead to the next thing. It means slowing down and savoring the experiences we are having, rather than rushing through life in pursuit of something better. In doing so, we cultivate gratitude and appreciation for what we have, which in turn fosters a sense of contentment. When we are present and intentional in our lives, happiness becomes a natural byproduct of the meaningful choices we make. The power of connection. Another essential component of a fulfilling life is connection, to others, to ourselves, and to something greater than ourselves. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and our relationships with others play a significant role in our well-being. Research has shown time and time again that strong, supportive relationships are one of the most important factors in overall happiness and life satisfaction. However, it's not just the quantity of our connections that matters, it's the quality of those relationships. Meaningful connections are built on trust, vulnerability, and mutual respect. They are relationships where we feel seen, heard, and valued. Whether it's with a partner, family member, friend, or colleague, these connections nourish us and provide a sense of belonging. When we feel connected to others, we are more likely to experience feelings of joy, fulfillment, and emotional well-being. These connections provide us with a support system during difficult times and celebrate with us during moments of triumph. However, connection is not limited to our relationships with other people. It also includes our relationship with ourselves and with the world around us. Self-connection involves being in tune with our thoughts, emotions, and needs. It means taking the time to understand who we are, what we value, and what brings us joy. It's about cultivating self-compassion and treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a loved one. In addition to connecting with ourselves and others, we can also cultivate a sense of connection to something greater than ourselves. This could be through spirituality, nature, or a sense of purpose that transcends our individual lives. When we feel connected to a larger sense of meaning, we are better able to navigate life's challenges and find fulfillment in the process. It's this deep sense of interconnectedness that brings a sense of peace and contentment, regardless of external circumstances. Curiosity and growth. A life well lived is also a life of curiosity and growth. Instead of stagnating in the pursuit of happiness, we can approach life with a mindset of exploration and learning. When we are curious, we are open to new experiences, new perspectives, and new ways of thinking. Curiosity allows us to embrace challenges and see them as opportunities for growth, rather than obstacles to be avoided. It fosters resilience, adaptability, and a willingness to step outside our comfort zones. Growth is an essential aspect of human life. We are constantly evolving, learning, and adapting to the world around us. Personal growth is not always easy, and it often involves facing difficult emotions or confronting uncomfortable truths about ourselves. However, it is through this process of growth that we find true fulfillment. When we embrace challenges and stretch ourselves beyond our current limitations, we discover new strengths, new abilities, and a deeper understanding of who we are. Curiosity also helps us to find joy in the journey, rather than obsessing over the destination. It reminds us that life is not about reaching some final